Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you all. Today I wanted to talk about the idea of not giving up and what I feel Islam tells us about it. Sometimes I think it's really difficult not to give up when all around us just seems to be malady and despair, whether it's at the loss of a loved one, trying to cope with poor health, worrying about paying the next bill, or seeing relationships that you've invested time and energy into breaking down, or when we hear of awful things happening on a daily basis around the world, like human trafficking. When we thought we had seen the end of slavery, it once again rears its ugly head, or violent dictator-led regimes which are so wicked and so brutal to their people that they are forced to risk their lives and the lives of their children to escape to a land of hope and prospect, only to be turned away from there too. Then there's our very own personal lives, where we see backbiting and gossip, lying and cheating, greed and selfishness. Sometimes, despite it being so negative, its pull is so strong it drags us along with it, as though we have little choice. Then the further injustice of human beings that we've seen only too well over the last few weeks, of prejudice and bigotry, racism, misogyny, homophobia, Islamophobia. The list is a long one. Sometimes it doesn't just leave us sad, but it can leave us desperate. Yet when we look at the parables and stories in the Quran, there are countless examples of how people before us were tested by the ills of humanity too. We learn about the bravery of Moses, Musa al-Islam's mother, peace be upon her, as she casts her baby into the river in a desperate attempt to give him a chance of life away from the people who are ready to kill babies. Or how Mary, Maryam al-Islam, separates herself to the desert from a society that would shun and reject her through the guise of honour and shame on their people. Or how Joseph, Yusuf al-Islam, is deceived by his own brothers, sold as a slave before beginning a long and treacherous journey of hardship and suffering. And yet somehow those difficulties don't defeat them. They do not shrivel away in fear or apprehension of the world. They do not become victims of their circumstance, but instead, through those experiences, they remain optimistic. They choose to grow, stand up against injustice, unite people, and establish peace. The trials shape them, mould them into stronger, more patient and wiser human beings. Perhaps even without going on that journey that was laced with difficulties and tribulation, they would never have ended up where God wanted them to. Moses as the Prince of Egypt, Mary as the greatest woman of all time, and Joseph as the king's chief minister. The difficulties and tribulations of life could have demoralized and defeated them, but the human spirit was much stronger. And through their patience, their conviction, and their love, they were able to attain peace. And God tells us in the Quran, "And most certainly shall we try you by means of danger and hunger, and loss of worldly goods, of lives, and of labour's fruits. But give glad tidings unto those who are patient in adversity." Wishing you all a very blessed Ramadan, full of love, full of peace, and full of hope. Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you all.